Success in life begins with a clear understanding of what you want. Without clarity of purpose, all your efforts, energy, and time may scatter in directions that don't lead you anywhere meaningful. Goals act as a compass, guiding your thoughts, actions, and decisions toward a purposeful path. They provide focus, structure, and a sense of direction, helping you avoid distractions and wasted effort. Having a clearly defined goal gives every day meaning. When you know why you are putting in the effort, even the smallest step becomes significant. It fuels motivation, builds confidence, and nurtures consistency. People with clear goals rarely wander aimlessly. They move with intention and direction, which significantly increases their chances of success. Let's consider a story to understand this better. Ahmed, a young man, often found himself participating in everything and saying yes to everyone. He excelled academically, played sports well, and had multiple interests, but he never fully committed to one path. His life felt scattered and incomplete. One day, Ahmed decided to write down his life goals. He took a notebook and meticulously recorded each objective, whether it was career-related, health-related, or a new skill he wanted to acquire. For each goal, Ahmed outlined small, actionable steps that he could take every day. He committed to accomplishing at least one small step daily. 3 years later, Ahmed had not only achieved his desired job, but had also found balance and peace in his life. This story shows how crucial it is to have a clear goal. Without it, one can work hard but still struggle to reach meaningful milestones. A well-defined goal provides focus, consistency, and courage. The first practical step is to write down your goals. Thinking about them mentally is not enough. Writing goals makes them tangible and understandable. Your goals should be concise, clear, and meaningful. Note the reason behind each goal. Knowing your why gives you strength and motivation to keep going even during tough times. Set long-term goals for 5 and 10 years. Break these into smaller, manageable milestones that you can achieve gradually. Prioritize your goals because not all goals carry the same weight. Focusing on what is most important ensures your energy is used wisely. Design daily actions that bring you closer to your objectives. Even small steps, when taken consistently, create significant results over time. Review your goals daily, reminding yourself why you are working toward them. Visualization techniques like creating a vision board can be very effective. Collect images, words, and symbols representing your goals and place them where you can see them regularly. This daily visual reinforcement strengthens commitment and keeps your motivation high. Taking consistent, deliberate actions toward your goal ensures that every day becomes meaningful. Every small accomplishment builds your confidence and fosters positive thinking. Mental focus and clarity increase because your efforts are directed and you can see progress, no matter how incremental it is. A practical exercise is to take a sheet of paper and write down your 5 most important goals. Next, note the reason behind each goal. For each goal, write down 3 actionable steps you can take immediately to move closer to it. At the end of every day, review your progress. Note what steps were completed and plan new steps for the following day. This habit ensures continuous progress and keeps you connected to your purpose. Ahmed's journey continued with deeper insights into goal setting. He realized that having clear goals alone was not enough. He needed a structured plan for execution. Many people write down their goals but never revisit them, allowing their ambitions to fade into the background. Ahmed made a commitment to review his goals daily, asking himself whether each action he took brought him closer to what he truly wanted. This daily practice kept his goals alive and actionable. He also learned the importance of emotional alignment with goals. Achieving a goal is not just a mechanical process, it involves emotions. When he felt motivated, energized, and emotionally connected to his objectives, his productivity soared. Conversely, when he ignored his feelings, he procrastinated and became frustrated. By understanding his emotional patterns, Ahmed could adjust his approach to maintain enthusiasm and persistence. One significant aspect of Ahmed's strategy was adapting to challenges. Life is unpredictable and obstacles are inevitable. Ahmed faced several setbacks, projects that failed, opportunities that slipped away, and moments of self-doubt. Instead of seeing these events as failures, he treated them as lessons. He asked, "What can I learn from this? How can I adapt my strategy to keep moving forward?" This resilience became a cornerstone of his goal-achieving process. Ahmed also emphasized creating supportive habits. He knew that habits shape destiny more than intentions. He designed his environment to reinforce his goals, keeping his workspace organized, removing distractions, and surrounding himself with people who inspired growth. For example, he joined a local group of aspiring professionals who shared similar ambitions. This peer group provided motivation, advice, and a sense of accountability that kept him consistent. Another key principle Ahmed discovered was tracking progress meticulously. He created a simple tracking system that allowed him to visualize incremental achievements. Each completed step, no matter how small, was recorded. Seeing consistent progress reinforced his confidence and created momentum. Humans naturally respond to visible progress. It keeps motivation high and discouragement low. Mental focus and clarity increase because your efforts are directed and you can see progress, no matter how incremental it is. Mental techniques became a part of Ahmed's routine. He practiced mindfulness and meditation, which enhanced his self-awareness and focus. During meditation, he visualized himself achieving his goals, imagining the process and the feelings associated with success. This technique strengthened his subconscious alignment with his objectives. Visualization combined with consistent action proved to be an extremely powerful combination. Ahmed also cultivated a positive mindset. He consciously replaced negative self-talk with empowering statements. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," he said, "I will figure out a way to achieve this." This simple shift dramatically influenced his behavior, energy levels, and determination. He learned that the mind acts as a guide, and maintaining a positive inner dialogue keeps the body and actions aligned with intentions. Practical exercises became habitual in Ahmed's life. Every week, he conducted a goal review session, analyzing accomplishments, challenges, and strategies. He also planned the upcoming week with specific tasks that aligned with his objectives. This proactive planning ensured that even in busy weeks, he maintained progress. He learned the significance of celebrating milestones. Achieving long-term goals can feel distant, so Ahmed created small celebrations for each milestone. This reinforced positive behavior and kept motivation high. These celebrations did not need to be extravagant. They could be as simple as taking a short break, enjoying a favorite treat, or reflecting on progress. Celebrating small wins keeps the brain rewarded and encourages sustained effort. Ahmed also explored learning from role models. He studied biographies of successful individuals, attended seminars, and followed mentors. Observing how others overcame challenges, structured their actions, and maintained focus provided invaluable insights. Learning from the experiences of others accelerated his progress and prevented common mistakes. Time management became a crucial skill. Ahmed realized that goals required disciplined time allocation. He blocked out dedicated periods for focused work, free from interruptions.
These focus blocks were sacred. During this time, he worked solely on tasks aligned with his objectives. Over months, this discipline increased his productivity dramatically. To maintain long-term motivation, Ahmed regularly reminded himself of the deeper purpose behind each goal. Whenever he felt discouraged, he revisited the why behind his efforts. Understanding the deeper meaning kept him committed even during challenging periods. Over time, all these strategies, writing clear goals, daily review, emotional alignment, resilience, supportive habits, tracking progress, holistic goal setting, visualization, positive mindset, weekly planning, celebrating milestones, learning from role models, disciplined time management, and revisiting the purpose created a robust system.
Art 2, Goal 2, Build consistent habits. Success is rarely about grand gestures. It is the result of small, consistent actions taken every day. Once Ahmed had defined his goals clearly in Part 1, he realized that clarity alone was not enough. Without the right habits, even the most well-defined goals remain unfulfilled dreams. Habits are the invisible architecture of our lives. They shape decisions, automate actions, and guide our daily behavior toward achieving long-term success. Ahmed's journey toward building consistent habits began with self-awareness. He took stock of his daily routines, identifying patterns that were unproductive or counterproductive. He realized that certain behaviors, such as procrastination, overthinking, and distracted browsing on his phone, were eating away precious time. Recognizing these habits was the first step toward changing them. Consistency requires discipline, but discipline alone is not sustainable without a system. Ahmed adopted a simple but effective strategy. He linked new habits to existing routines. For example, if he wanted to read every morning, he would place a book next to his bed and read immediately after brushing his teeth. This method, often called habit stacking, helped him embed new behaviors into his daily life naturally. Accountability played a crucial role. Ahmed shared his habit goals with a trusted friend who checked in regularly. This external accountability created social pressure to stay consistent, which proved far more effective than self-motivation alone. Additionally, Ahmed tracked his habits daily using a journal and a checklist. Each day he completed a habit, he marked it off, creating a visual chain of progress. Seeing the chain grow motivated him to keep it unbroken. Building habits is not just about forcing behavior, it is about understanding the psychology of action. Ahmed learned to design his environment to support his desired behaviors. He removed distractions from his workspace, organized his surroundings, and surrounded himself with people who reinforced positive routines. By shaping his environment, Ahmed reduced reliance on willpower, which can fluctuate daily, and increased the likelihood of automatic, consistent action. Small wins matter. Ahmed began celebrating each milestone no matter how minor. Completing a week of consistent reading, exercising, or skill practice provided a dopamine boost, reinforcing the behavior. This celebration of small victories created a feedback loop that made habits easier to sustain. Ahmed also discovered the importance of flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and strict routines can sometimes backfire. When unexpected events disrupted his schedule, he learned to adapt without feeling guilty or losing momentum. The goal was consistency over perfection. Missing a day did not mean failure. It was simply an opportunity to reset and continue. He implemented the 2-minute rule for new habits. If a task could be done in 2 minutes or less, he did it immediately. This principle helped him overcome procrastination and gradually tackle larger goals. Over time, even small actions compounded, creating remarkable results over time. Ahmed combined habit building with goal alignment. Every habit he cultivated was linked to his overarching objectives from Part 1. For example, daily exercise was not just for health, but also to maintain energy and mental clarity for professional growth. Studying new skills was aligned with career advancement. This alignment ensured that habits were meaningful and not arbitrary, increasing the likelihood of adherence. Visualization and mental rehearsal complemented Ahmed's habit-building strategy. Each morning, he spent a few minutes imagining himself performing the desired habits effortlessly, feeling the satisfaction and progress these actions brought. This mental practice strengthened his commitment and made actual execution smoother. Consistency required patience. Ahmed recognized that true transformation does not happen overnight. He embraced the concept of compound interest of habits. Small, positive actions repeated daily accumulate into massive results over months and years. This long-term perspective kept him motivated during challenging periods. Ahmed also learned to measure progress not by immediate results, but by consistency and effort. For instance, mastering a new skill may take months, but showing up and practicing every day mattered more than instant proficiency. By focusing on the process rather than outcomes, he maintained momentum and avoided discouragement. Reflection was an essential tool. Each week, Ahmed reviewed his habits, noting successes, failures, obstacles, and opportunities for improvement. This reflection allowed him to fine-tune routines, drop ineffective behaviors, and reinforce those that contributed most to his goals. He maintained a balance between discipline and self-compassion, understanding that mistakes were part of growth. Ahmed's story illustrates the power of small, consistent actions. Habits create structure, automate behavior, and reduce reliance on fleeting motivation. Small, consistent actions compound into remarkable results over time. Properly aligned habits bridge the gap between goals and reality. Celebrating small milestones reinforces behavior and strengthens motivation. Identity-based habits and environment-supported habits increase adherence and sustainability. By the end of his journey, Ahmed had cultivated a network of daily routines that supported his health, productivity, learning, relationships, and personal growth. These habits transformed him into someone whose daily actions were naturally aligned with his goals. His life became purposeful, structured, and fulfilling. The key takeaway is simple. Defining goals provides direction, but building consistent habits is the engine that moves you toward those goals. Without habits, even the clearest goals remain dreams. Time is one of the most valuable resources a person has, yet it is often the most mismanaged. Ahmed, after defining his goals and building consistent habits, realized that without proper time management, all his efforts could easily go to waste. Time management is not just about scheduling, it's about prioritizing, focusing, and aligning actions with what truly matters. Ahmed began by analyzing his current use of time. He tracked daily activities for a week, noting where his hours were spent, what tasks consumed the most energy, and which activities contributed to his goals versus which were distractions. This exercise revealed patterns of wasted time, including excessive social media use, unnecessary meetings, and sporadic focus on tasks. Awareness of time allocation was the first critical step toward mastery. Next, Ahmed implemented the priority matrix concept, distinguishing tasks by importance and urgency. He categorized actions into 4 quadrants: urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. This allowed him to focus on high-value activities while delegating or eliminating low-value distractions. By prioritizing effectively, Ahmed ensured his energy and attention were invested in meaningful work. Ahmed also established daily planning routines. Every morning, he listed the top 3 tasks that would move him closest to his goals. These tasks became non-negotiable items, ensuring that no matter how busy the day got, progress toward his objectives continued. By focusing on a few key priorities rather than attempting to do everything, he increased productivity and reduced stress. Time blocking became an essential technique. Ahmed allocated specific periods for focused work, learning, exercise, and rest. During these blocks, he minimized distractions, turning off notifications, closing unrelated tabs, and informing colleagues of dedicated work periods. Focused, uninterrupted work produced higher quality outcomes in less time. Ahmed discovered that batching similar tasks was highly effective. Grouping email responses, administrative work, or creative tasks together minimized context switching, which often wastes cognitive energy. This method allowed him to complete similar tasks more efficiently and with greater focus. Another principle Ahmed mastered was the art of saying no. He learned that protecting his time was crucial. Not every request, opportunity, or task deserved his attention. By evaluating whether an action aligned with his long-term goals, Ahmed became selective in commitments. This practice prevented overextension and preserved energy for meaningful work. Ahmed recognized the importance of rest and recovery in time management. Productivity is not about working endlessly, it is about maintaining energy and mental clarity. He scheduled breaks, exercise, and leisure to recharge. These intervals increased focus, creativity, and problem-solving ability when returning to tasks. Delegation was another critical strategy. Ahmed identified tasks that could be handled by others or automated. By freeing himself from low-value work, he could devote time to high-impact actions that required his unique skills and attention. He also used technology wisely. Calendar apps, reminders, and task management tools helped him organize and visualize his schedule. Ahmed ensured that technology served as an aid rather than a distraction. Notifications were minimized, and tools were chosen to enhance efficiency rather than consume time. Ahmed applied the concept of time auditing periodically. Every month, he reviewed how his time was spent, compared it against his goals, and adjusted routines accordingly. This continuous feedback loop allowed him to identify inefficiencies and optimize his schedule. Mental clarity and focus were central to Ahmed's approach. He practiced meditation and brief mindfulness exercises to maintain concentration. Starting the day with mental preparation ensured that he approached tasks with deliberate attention rather than scattered energy. He adopted the Pomodoro technique for particularly challenging or monotonous tasks. 25 minutes of focused work followed by a 5-minute break. This method increased attention span, reduced burnout, and created measurable progress cycles throughout the day. Ahmed also emphasized goal-aligned time management. Every activity was evaluated against its contribution to his overarching objectives. Social interactions, learning sessions, work projects, and even leisure were chosen based on alignment with his long-term vision. This ensured that time spent was purposeful and meaningful. He realized that mastery of time was closely linked to self-discipline. Ahmed cultivated habits of punctuality, preparation, and foresight. Starting the day early, planning ahead, and reviewing priorities each evening created a rhythm that supported productivity. Reflection remained a cornerstone. Ahmed conducted weekly reviews, assessing accomplishments, delays, and obstacles. This habit of reflection allowed him to fine-tune strategies, allocate time more efficiently, and continuously improve. Ahmed's story demonstrates that mastering time management is not about squeezing more into the day, but about making every moment count. It is about aligning actions with goals, protecting focus, and creating a sustainable rhythm that balances work, learning, health, and relationships. Time management, when combined with clear goals and consistent habits, forms a powerful triad. It ensures that your efforts are productive, deliberate, and result-oriented. Ahmed transformed his life by respecting time, prioritizing effectively, and acting purposefully. The universal lesson is clear. Clarity of goals, consistent habits, and mastery of time create a life of productivity, fulfillment, and impact. Neglecting any of these pillars leaves potential unrealized. But integrating these principles, ordinary days compound into extraordinary achievements, creating momentum that drives success in every area of life. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and unexpected changes. Ahmed, having mastered goal setting, consistent habits, and time management, realized that no matter how organized or disciplined one is, the ability to navigate emotional turbulence is critical for long-term success. Emotional resilience, the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, adapt to change, and maintain focus under pressure, is a key trait of highly successful individuals. Ahmed's journey toward building emotional resilience began with self-awareness. He paid attention to his emotional triggers, moments that caused stress, frustration, or anxiety. By understanding these triggers, Ahmed could anticipate reactions and prepare strategies to manage them effectively. For instance, he noticed that tight deadlines or unexpected changes in plans would often lead to panic or irritability. Recognizing this pattern allowed him to pause, breathe, and respond calmly rather than react impulsively. One of the first practices Ahmed adopted was mindful reflection. Every day, he spent time reviewing emotional experiences, journaling thoughts, and analyzing how he responded to challenges. This reflection provided clarity on areas for improvement and helped him identify recurring patterns. Over time, Ahmed became aware of negative self-talk, which often amplified stress. By reframing thoughts and focusing on solutions rather than problems, he strengthened his resilience. Ahmed also embraced the power of adaptability. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned. Goals may shift, projects may fail, and circumstances may change. Ahmed learned to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats. This shift in perspective transformed challenges into learning experiences, reducing the emotional burden and increasing confidence in handling future obstacles. Another key component was developing coping strategies. Ahmed experimented with various techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, short walks, and physical exercise to manage stress effectively. He also practiced visualization, imagining himself navigating challenges successfully, which reinforced mental toughness and preparedness. Support systems played a crucial role. Ahmed leaned on mentors, friends, and family for guidance, perspective, and encouragement. Surrounding himself with positive and supportive people created a buffer against emotional strain. He learned that seeking help was not a weakness, it was a strategy for resilience. Ahmed understood the importance of emotional regulation. He learned to pause before reacting, acknowledging feelings without being controlled by them. Techniques like counting to 10, journaling emotions, and reframing situations helped him respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. This control over emotional responses enhanced both personal and professional relationships. Building resilience also involved embracing challenges progressively. Ahmed deliberately put himself in situations slightly outside his comfort zone, gradually expanding his capacity to handle uncertainty, discomfort, and pressure. Each successful experience increased his confidence, while failures became lessons rather than sources of discouragement. Ahmed cultivated gratitude as a resilience tool. Daily reflection on positive aspects of life, achievements, and supportive relationships strengthened his mental fortitude. Gratitude shifted focus from problems to opportunities, enhancing emotional stability. Visualization and mental rehearsal were extended to emotional resilience. Ahmed imagined encountering stress, obstacles, or failure, and mentally rehearsed effective responses. This practice made real-life challenges less intimidating and increased his sense of control. Ahmed also recognized the connection between physical health and emotional resilience. Regular exercise, proper sleep, and balanced nutrition.
Making effective decisions is a cornerstone of success. Ahmed, having cultivated goal clarity, consistent habits, time management, emotional resilience, and a growth mindset, realized that even the best plans can fail without sound decision-making. Every choice, from daily routines to life-changing moves, impacts outcomes. Strengthening decision-making skills ensures that actions are deliberate, effective, and aligned with long-term objectives. Ahmed began by understanding the psychology of decision-making. He recognized that humans often rely on cognitive shortcuts, biases, or emotions when making choices.
While these shortcuts can save time, they also lead to poor outcomes. By becoming aware of biases such as confirmation bias, overconfidence, and analysis paralysis, Ahmed prepared to make more rational, informed decisions. One strategy Ahmed employed was gathering relevant information. Before making significant choices, he collected data, sought expert opinions, and analyzed possible outcomes. By grounding decisions in facts rather than assumptions or impulse, he reduced risks and increased confidence in his choices. Ahmed also learned the importance of clarity of goals in decision-making. When choices were aligned with his defined objectives, evaluating options became easier. If a decision did not contribute to his overarching goals, it was either postponed, delegated, or declined. Goal alignment served as a filter, reducing distractions and ensuring focus on what truly mattered. He implemented pros and cons analysis as a practical tool. For complex decisions, Ahmed listed potential benefits and drawbacks, considering both short-term and long-term effects. This structured approach clarified trade-offs and allowed him to make rational choices without being overwhelmed by uncertainty. Ahmed recognized the value of timely decision-making. Delaying choices unnecessarily can create missed opportunities, while hasty decisions can lead to mistakes. He practiced balancing speed and thoughtfulness, setting deadlines for decisions when appropriate. This prevented procrastination while ensuring careful consideration. Risk assessment became a regular practice. Ahmed evaluated the likelihood of different outcomes and their potential impact. By anticipating challenges and preparing contingency plans, he minimized negative consequences while embracing calculated risks that could lead to significant growth. Ahmed also cultivated intuition. While data and analysis were crucial, he learned to trust his instincts based on experience, knowledge, and accumulated insights. Intuition complemented rational thinking, allowing faster and often surprisingly accurate decisions in complex scenarios. He practiced scenario planning, imagining multiple outcomes and visualizing the steps needed to reach them. This mental rehearsal improved readiness and reduced stress, making it easier to act decisively under pressure. Ahmed understood the importance of learning from past decisions. Reviewing successes and failures provided insight into patterns, strengths, and areas needing improvement. He documented lessons from both positive and negative outcomes, creating a personal decision-making framework for future reference. Collaboration enhanced decision quality. Ahmed sought input from trusted mentors, colleagues, and peers when appropriate. Diverse perspectives revealed blind spots, introduced alternative solutions, and strengthened confidence in the final choice. He also practiced decisiveness in everyday life. By making smaller, routine decisions quickly and efficiently, Ahmed built mental muscles for larger, high-stakes choices. Decisiveness reduced stress, increased confidence, and maintained momentum in daily activities. Ahmed learned to embrace accountability. Every decision carries consequences, and accepting responsibility for outcomes, positive or negative, enhanced his learning and maturity. Accountability encouraged careful consideration and ethical choices. To avoid decision fatigue, Ahmed streamlined minor choices. Simplifying daily routines such as meal planning, clothing choices, or standard procedures conserved mental energy for significant decisions. This practice ensured focus on high-impact areas while automating low-value decisions. Ahmed also incorporated reflection on values and principles. Decisions aligned with core values were easier to make and fostered consistency, integrity, and long-term satisfaction. Misaligned choices, even if convenient, often led to regret or stress. He practiced emotional regulation during decision-making. Ahmed paused to manage anxiety, frustration, or excitement that could cloud judgment.
Techniques such as deep breathing, short walks, or brief meditation allowed clarity and rationality to guide choices. Ahmed's journey demonstrates that decision-making is a skill cultivated through awareness, structure, practice, and reflection. Consistent effort in refining this skill leads to better outcomes, greater confidence, and more deliberate action. By the end of his practice, Ahmed became someone who could approach challenges, opportunities, and uncertainties with calm, thoughtful, and confident decisions. He understood that every choice contributes to a larger trajectory, and mastering this skill amplified the effectiveness of all other goals, habits, and personal growth strategies. The universal lesson is clear. Sound decision-making is a multiplier for success. Goals provide direction, habits create action, time management ensures efficiency, emotional resilience maintains focus, and a growth mindset enables learning. But decision-making determines the quality of every step along the path. By honing this skill, individuals unlock higher potential, avoid costly mistakes, and create meaningful impact in life.
Self-discipline is the invisible force that turns intention into execution. Ahmed had clear goals, strong habits, effective time management, emotional resilience, a growth mindset, and improving decision-making skills. But he soon realized that without self-discipline, all these qualities could weaken under pressure. Self-discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done even when motivation is low, emotions fluctuate, or distractions are tempting. Ahmed discovered that motivation is temporary, but discipline is reliable. Motivation comes and goes, influenced by mood, environment, and energy levels. Discipline, however, is a commitment to action regardless of emotional state. This understanding shifted how Ahmed approached his daily life. He stopped waiting to feel ready and started acting because action itself creates momentum. The foundation of self-discipline began with clarity of standards. Ahmed defined clear rules for himself: when to wake up, how much time to dedicate to focused work, when to rest, and which distractions were unacceptable during work hours. These standards reduced daily decision fatigue and removed ambiguity. When rules are clear, discipline becomes easier to maintain. Ahmed learned that self-discipline is deeply connected to identity. He stopped saying, "I'm trying to be disciplined," and started saying, "I am a disciplined person." This identity shift changed how he viewed choices. Every action became a vote for the kind of person he wanted to become. Skipping a task felt like betraying his identity, while completing it reinforced self-respect. One of the most powerful tools Ahmed adopted was delayed gratification. Instead of choosing short-term comfort, he trained himself to prioritize long-term benefits. This meant working when he felt lazy, learning when entertainment was tempting, and resting intentionally rather than mindlessly. Over time, his ability to delay gratification strengthened his willpower and focus. Ahmed also understood the role of environmental control. Self-discipline is not only internal, it is also external. He removed distractions from his surroundings, limited social media access during work hours, and structured his space to support focus. By reducing temptation, he reduced the need for constant self-control. Consistency strengthened discipline. Ahmed committed to showing up daily even if the effort was minimal. On difficult days, he allowed himself to do the bare minimum required to maintain momentum. This approach prevented burnout and reinforced the habit of showing up, which is at the core of self-discipline. He practiced self-control training through small challenges. Simple acts like waking up at the same time daily, completing tasks without checking his phone, or finishing what he started built mental toughness. These small victories accumulated, making discipline stronger over time. Ahmed learned to separate feelings from actions. He accepted that discomfort, boredom, and resistance are natural parts of growth. Instead of avoiding these feelings, he learned to act alongside them. This emotional neutrality toward discomfort became a major breakthrough in his discipline journey. Reflection played a key role. Ahmed would view moments where discipline failed and analyzed why. Was it lack of sleep, poor planning, emotional stress? By identifying patterns, he adjusted strategies rather than blaming himself. This constructive approach prevented guilt and encouraged improvement. Rest and recovery were also part of discipline. Ahmed realized that discipline does not mean constant pressure. Proper sleep, rest, and mental breaks ensured sustainability. True discipline includes knowing when to push and when to pause. Ahmed reinforced discipline through accountability. He tracked commitments, reviewed progress weekly, and held himself responsible for outcomes. Accountability created internal pressure to remain consistent and honest with himself. Over time, self-discipline transformed Ahmed's confidence. Every completed task strengthened self-trust. He knew that if he committed to something, he would follow through. This reliability became one of his strongest personal traits. Ahmed's journey shows that self-discipline is not about being harsh or rigid. It is about being consistent, intentional, and aligned with long-term goals. It is built through small choices repeated daily, not through sudden bursts of effort. The universal lesson is clear. Self-discipline is the bridge between potential and achievement. Without it, goals remain ideas. With it, progress becomes inevitable. When self-discipline is strong, external circumstances lose power, distractions fade, and success becomes a natural outcome of daily behavior. In a world full of noise, distractions, and constant notifications, focus has become one of the rarest and most valuable skills. Ahmed had already built discipline, strong habits, emotional control, and decision-making ability, but he soon realized that without deep focus, his efforts were being diluted. True progress requires not just action, but undivided attention. Ahmed understood that focus is not about doing many things at once, it is about doing one important thing with full presence. Multitasking, which he once believed was a strength, slowly revealed itself as a weakness. Tasks took longer, mistakes increased, and mental fatigue became constant. This realization marked the beginning of his journey toward mastering deep concentration. The first step was awareness of distractions. Ahmed carefully observed what broke his focus: social media, unnecessary notifications, random thoughts, and unstructured work time. By identifying these distractions, he was able to address them intentionally instead of reacting impulsively. Ahmed learned that focus starts with clear priorities. When the mind knows exactly what matters most, concentration becomes natural. Each day, Ahmed defined one primary task that deserved his best energy. Everything else became secondary. This clarity reduced mental clutter and increased efficiency. He began practicing deep work sessions. During these sessions, Ahmed eliminated all interruptions, silenced notifications, and worked with full attention for a fixed period. These focused intervals allowed him to produce higher quality work in less time. Over time, his ability to remain immersed in tasks increased significantly. Mental training played a crucial role. Ahmed practiced bringing his attention back whenever it wandered. Instead of criticizing himself for losing focus, he gently redirected his mind. This practice strengthened attention like a muscle, improving endurance and control. Ahmed also recognized the importance of energy management. Focus is deeply connected to physical and mental energy. Proper sleep, hydration, and nutrition became essential parts of his routine. He scheduled demanding tasks during peak energy hours and reserved low-energy periods for lighter work. The environment was optimized for concentration. Ahmed organized his workspace to minimize distractions and visual clutter. A clean, simple environment supported a clear and focused mind. Even small changes like lighting and seating improved his ability to concentrate. Ahmed learned to manage digital consumption intentionally. Instead of constantly checking his phone, he designated specific times for messages and social media.
This reduced mental fragmentation and restored his ability to think deeply without interruption. He also practiced single-tasking. Ahmed committed to completing one task fully before moving to the next. This approach reduced stress, improved quality, and increased satisfaction. By being fully present with one activity, he regained control over his attention. Reflection strengthened focus further. Ahmed reviewed how he spent his time and attention each day. This self-observation revealed patterns and allowed adjustments. Awareness turned unconscious habits into conscious choices. Ahmed understood that boredom and resistance are part of focus training. Instead of escaping discomfort through distractions, he learned to stay with the task. This tolerance for mental discomfort significantly increased his concentration capacity. Over time, focus became a competitive advantage. Ahmed could learn faster, work more efficiently, and produce better results than before. Tasks that once felt overwhelming became manageable through sustained attention. The journey taught Ahmed that focus is not about force, it is about alignment. When goals are clear, distractions are minimized, and energy is managed, deep concentration becomes natural. The universal lesson is powerful. Focus determines the quality of your life and work. Where attention goes, energy flows. By mastering focus and deep concentration, individuals unlock clarity, creativity, and meaningful progress in everything they pursue. As Ahmed progressed in his journey, he realized that intelligence alone was not enough to succeed in life. Skills, discipline, focus, decision-making, and emotional control mattered greatly, but there was one invisible factor influencing all relationships, conflicts, and leadership moments: emotional intelligence. This ability to understand, manage, and respond wisely to emotions became a turning point in Ahmed's personal and professional growth. Emotional intelligence begins with self-awareness.